Hey, peace, love, happiness to everybody out there. Today I'm going to be giving you 3 ways to forgive your past. Stay tuned. Well, it is about 3 p.m., meaning it's the hottest time of the day, right? We have our direct sunlight right here above me. Beautiful area. Terra Lago, Palm Springs. Terra Lago and Indio. It's a 55 plus community. I am a real estate agent for all of those who need any real estate assistance. Please let me know. I will be happy to knock on your door and help you out with whatever it is you need. So moving forward, we are going to find out today 3 ways to forgive your past. Okay, that's what we're going to do together. All right, now the very first way that I wanted to bring this about, first of all, is I want to let you all know that there are different parts to our pasts, right? We have the part in which we took and actually played a part in, where we did something to someone that we need to forgive in ourselves. We have another side, which is someone has done something to us in which we must forgive them. And we have another one, which is a pure situation that happened or that you found yourself in. And that situation needs to be forgiven within your heart for you to actually be able to move on, let go of those habits that come with that situation that caused a ripple effect, and be able to live a happier life and keep moving forward. So I have 3 reasons here. So let's say something happened to you and you hit rock bottom. You hit rock bottom, you're not happy with yourself, you're not happy with anybody. Well, you have a choice to make here when you hit rock bottom. This is number 1. You have a choice to make. You have the choice to move forward, gain knowledge and wisdom from the experience, and become an even stronger, brighter light in this world, and bring that over to other people and be able to influence other people on a constant basis. Or you have the choice to stay there at rock bottom and basically be dead while you're alive and continue to be miserable. And you choose whichever path you'd like to take. There's only forward and backward. There's no such thing as stagnant. You will become more and more miserable if you do take that path. You will become more and more enlightened if you take the opposite path. That's one way. When you hit rock bottom, remember that you have a choice to make, okay? You have a choice. That's number 1 way to forgive your past. And we forget that quite often. However, when we remember it, then it helps us to see the past differently. That's the connection there. When you remember that you have a choice, and in that moment you had a choice, you see the past much more differently than if you didn't remember or think about the fact that you had a choice. Because that past will now affect your present, which will then affect the future. Number 2 is revisiting the emotions that you felt in that point in time while that person was harming you, while you were harming that person, or when that situation came up and you had to deal with it. That's number 2. So you have to realize why you're here, right? That's another piece to the puzzle, is realizing that you're here to continue living, right? You don't want to just be here, like I mentioned before, and be alive while you're dead. There are different ways that you can do this. You can help others. That's one way to help forgive your past, is to presently do things that will become your past at some time, right? Tomorrow, even a minute from now, this moment will be your past. So do something to help someone, so that way you have better things to remember in your past. And when you have those better things to remember in your past, then presently you can then forgive yourself for the things that you did to people, for the things that people did to you, and situations you found yourself in, because those no longer serve you, right? Those situations don't serve you. Sure, you learned a lesson. Sure, you gained some wisdom from it. However, to forgive that past, do something now that's going to influence your future's past. Okay? All right, now number 3, changing the perspective as a entire whole, seeing it from a third-party perspective. Imagine you are back into a situation, a past situation that's probably been on your mind this entire time during this video. That is an indicator of something you need to start forgiving. You look back into that situation, whether you were sitting in a room, whether you were standing up in a room, whether you were outside, who was in the room. Put these pieces back together, right? Now, act as if you're a drone right in the middle, the drone yourself flies up, and now you have a 360 view of what's going on. You can see everybody's faces. You can feel either the tension or the relaxation in the room. You can feel how the words that are coming out of someone's mouth are affecting the other person, including yourself. You can see yourself from this perspective. When you do this, you're not only seeing yourself and how you are reacting to the stimuli around you, but you are also seeing how other people are reacting to the stimuli around them. And you're also seeing how the stimuli themselves are reacting upon your actions and your words, or the actions and the words of those in the room or in the situation. Bringing a third-party perspective is always a key, for me at least, for me to be able to say, hey, okay, this is how I was feeling. Now, how was that person feeling? I have to bring up my drone, get that 360 view. Okay, turn it on this one person. Let's focus. How were they feeling? Oh, I can see how they felt that way because I did say it in a way that would entice that type of emotion. You start to see these things and you start to acknowledge the fact that you play a part in every single thing that happens in your life. Not only do you play a part, but you are the only part and factor that matters. And what I mean by that is if you were not there, it would not have affected you, right? Or you would not have those emotions that you're holding on to that you need to learn how to forgive. Those things will not be there anymore. What happens is you are able to change the current emotions and the perspective toward that thing or that person or that situation. When you change your perspective, as mentioned in number 2, you change the reality of it. So remember yourself as that drone. You go up, you get a 360 view of everything that's going on. And when you get that view of everything that's going on, everything gets a little more simple. You're able to see things from a simpler light, from a simpler understanding, not so much with emotion tied with it, but just from a simple observing standpoint. And that's what our goal is. That's what the goal of Buddhist monks is to observe what's happening, not to take part in it in terms of emotions and ego and identity, but to observe what is happening. And from that observation standpoint, you gain that much more clarity on it, because now all the filters of emotion and feelings, and not feelings as in you can't feel anything, but feelings as in your feeling toward that situation, your belief toward that situation. It's a breakdown of that belief. Once you break down that belief, you can see it as a simple stack, right? You can see it as blocks, just blocks stacking upon each other, versus wavy blocks stacking upon each other with all the emotion and frequencies and everything tied into it. And so just to revisit these things, guys, once you've hit rock bottom, you have a choice. Remember that. You hit rock bottom at some point. You had a choice then, and you still have a choice now to either let that fuel you or to allow it to slowly add stress on you, add tension upon your life, bring your muscles to tense up, and which causes your heart to not pump blood properly, which then causes a lack of oxygen to the brain. All these things take effect. And number 2 was revisiting the emotions that you felt at the time. Revisiting those emotions. You have to revisit them because they're there for a reason. When you revisit them, you close the circle. You knot it up and you say, okay, I dealt with it. Boom, I can forgive it now. It's gone. I can forgive this person. It's gone. I felt that way. Boom, done. Number 3, changing the perspective entirely and bringing yourself up, like I mentioned before, as a drone, seeing the entire environment for what it is, and being able to make an assessment based off of that, or simply just observe it. You don't have to put an input. You just observe what happened. If you see changes that you could make and that should have been applied at that point in time, make those changes now. It will affect your future's past. Again, it will affect your future's past, which is right this moment. So I love you very much. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Another shot of our sun. She moved around, huh? Look at that. Oh, sorry about that. Palm trees got in the way. There we are. All right. Much love, DSL channel. Subscribe, like it, send it over to your friends. Hit the notification bell because I will be putting up videos as much as I can on a daily basis. Mwah! Much love to the world.